Welcome everyone to Shepherd's Gate's virtual Bluegrass and Barbecue event. I'm Carol Patterson, the CEO of Shepherd's Gate. I'm so glad you're joining us tonight. I'm sorry we couldn't meet in person, but because we're virtual, we have people joining us from all over the country. I hope you have prepared a wonderful barbecue in the safety of your own home. We have already set the date for next year with Gray Event Center for Saturday, October 8th, 2022, to be in person. Even though we are virtual tonight, we have a great night ahead of you. Some of you might be watching and you're new to Shepherd's Gate and to our ministry, and I want to give you a quick overview of Shepherd's Gate and why this 38-year-old ministry is vital today. Shepherd's Gate is so much more than a homeless shelter. We are a long-term Christian recovery program for both women and children that have struggled with homelessness, addiction, poverty, and domestic violence. In today's world, these are all growing here in our local community, in California, and across the nation. You would be surprised that 93 people lost their lives to drug addiction last year with overdoses. You'd also be surprised by 10.7% of homicide deaths in California are from domestic violence crimes. And as all of us have seen, homelessness is everywhere in the Bay Area, as we lack enough affordable housing for everyone. All of these things can happen to anyone, young or old, your next door neighbor, a coworker, or a child in the classroom. It is a crisis. These are not issues that can be resolved overnight. We take a long-term, one-year approach to healing from these issues, giving them all the tools and case management to help women with their physical health issues, financial banking, debt reduction, career skills, education to achieve their GEDs, and emotional support with outside counseling, addiction recovery, relapse prevention, and parenting classes, all in a safe, secure campus, either in Livermore or in Brentwood. Plus, our aftercare program for our alumni is so important, and our goal is to help them not fall back into homelessness. We also have a full program for our children now in the nursery and after school, so children can heal as well. We have a success rate of 82%. Our graduates have stable housing, have a job or going to college, remain in their sobriety, and have a loving church family. We do this all without government funding because of your support and compassion to find permanent solutions. In order for all of this to take place, it takes God breaking through to them to really transform their lives. For some, that comes right when they enter the program, and some it comes maybe 4 months later or 2 months before graduation. But He breaks through to them. In our quick time tonight, we hope to give you a glimpse of what God's has provided for us this last year. You are going to meet some of our staff, hear about a few of our heroes during the pandemic, and hear from 2 women that found God's love and healing at Shepherd's Gate. So let me pray over our night together. Father, we are so grateful for today and for everyone joining us tonight. Through this event, may you be glorified of what you have done in the lives of these women and children. May you also bless everyone that is watching with us right now. Amen. Now, let's kick off the night with a little bluegrass music. You'll notice that the band tonight is a little younger. They started when they were 13 and 14 back in 2017. Now they're one of California's #1 youth bluegrass bands that appear at top venues and festivals. So here is North Country Blue.
I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. Well, thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. Oh, it blowed so low, it blowed so sweet, I was laying my head down on Toulouse Street. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. Whistle blow. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. Well, it blowed so low, it blowed so sweet, I was laying my head down on Toulouse Street. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. Well, it blowed so low, it blowed so sweet, I was laying my head down on Toulouse Street. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. Whistle blow. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. Well, it blowed so low, it blowed so sweet, I was laying my head down on Toulouse Street. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. It was strange how it hung in the corners of the room, and I wondered if she would be back soon. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. In the rain out there over by Algiers, it might be ghosts or the noise of trucks grinding through their gears. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. Well, it blowed so low, it blowed so sweet, I was laying my head down onto the street. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. Well, it blowed so low, it blowed so sweet, I was laying my head down onto the street. I thought I heard that Natchez whistle blow. Style, and I'll never once look back. And at your home across the track, you're the gossip of the town, but your heart can still be found as you stumble to the ground and pick me up on your way down. Pick me up on your but they'll find another toy as you stumble to the ground and pick me up on your way down. They have changed your attitude. They made you haughty and so rude. Well, your new friends can take the blame, but underneath you're still the same. So when you learn these things are true, well, I'll be waiting here for you. So as you stumble to the ground, pick me up on your way down. Pick me up on your way down when you're blue and all alone. When their glamour starts to bore you, come on back where you belong. You may be their pride and joy, but they'll find another toy as you stumble to the ground. Pick me up on your way down. Pick me up on your way down when you're blue and all alone. When their glamour starts to bore you, come on back where you belong. 'Cause you may be their pride and joy, but they'll find another toy as you stumble to the ground. And pick me up on your way down.
All right. Thank you, everybody out there, for tuning into this and supporting this awesome organization. We're so happy to be playing here and supporting Shepherd's Gate. We're going to do a gospel song for you all. All right. You want to kick it? 1, 2, 3.
To Canaan's land, I'm on my way where the soul never dies. My darkest night will turn to day where the soul never dies. No sad farewells, no tear-dimmed eyes, where all is love and the soul never dies.
across the foam where the soul never dies. It shines and lights the way to home where the soul never dies. No sad farewells, no tear-dimmed eyes, where all is love and the soul never dies, and the soul never dies.
Thank you.
Weren't they great? So gifted. That was North Country Blue. So thank you, guys and gals. Now, I get the privilege of sharing with you a few highlights that have happened during this past year. A little look behind the scenes of what we have been working on and how God has blessed us. Our staff. This has been a really tough year, as our staff has stepped into multiple roles that they needed to in order to care for the well-being and the health of our women and children and each other. Everyone pitched in. God has brought this team together, and I'm so thankful. We have celebrated so many things together, weddings and babies being born and graduations. And we even had one staff member, her wedding dress stayed in a closet for 2 years until she could have an official wedding event. And that just happened. And you see a couple pictures of that with the staff. But we have to find the joy in every day. And I am just so grateful for this team. Our programs never stopped during the pandemic because of this team, dedicated to continue our recovery programs or help children through their schoolwork. I'm just so grateful. Another team we have is our thrift store staff. They work so hard to make a safe and clean environment for our donors to drop off donations and to shop in our store. You would be surprised because of faithful donors dropping off household items and clothes, and also our faithful shoppers that love our store. We were blessed with a profit in the area of $100,000 that went directly back into our program to help the next woman or child. There's also a very generous hero behind the scenes here, and that is our landlord, David and Mary Lou Lowell Family Trust. They actually own the Chardonnay Shopping Center on East Avenue here in Livermore. They came to us and knew it was going to be a really hard year for all retail stores and restaurants. They decreased our rent each month. And because of that, that was a $60,000 savings to us. And they are still continuously discounting our lease every month until the end of the year. I can't thank them enough for this huge blessing. Second up is our women that have come to Shepherd's Gate during this pandemic. You know, it can actually be very scary to say yes to us and come into our program, because what they're saying yes to, I don't want to be homeless. I don't want to live in my car anymore. I don't want to use drugs anymore. I don't want to be trapped by my abuser. I want to work hard to recover and get my kids back from Child Protective Services. They often feel ashamed and hopeless when our teams either find them living on the streets or they call our intake team to process. Also during this pandemic, we've had more elderly women coming to us in need. They were either homeless living on the streets or living in their cars. Many of them had serious health issues such as cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and dementia. These were all medical conditions that had gone untreated. So our dedicated staff would handhold them through multiple doctor's appointments. Can you imagine what it's like to enter into a doctor's appointment and be very scared? But the staff member is there to hold their hand because they don't have family to be with them during these critical moments. So I'm grateful to the staff that stepped in. You can see by this slide just all the photos of these smiling faces as more women graduated, accomplished freedom from their addiction, went to college. Women went to specialized phlebotomy school and pharmacy assistant school. Every one of them kept pressing into their future. First driver's license, first car, first job, high school diplomas. That's what you see on these smiling faces. Complete transformation. They have worked so hard. And again, this wouldn't be possible without your generosity. In the past year, we've also had numerous women baptized as they have dedicated their lives to the Lord. You'd be surprised, 40 to 50% of the women that come to us have no religious background. So this commitment to the Lord through their baptism and their faith is a huge step towards Him. Third area I want to share with you is our kids. We have so many kids. Our kids went through a lot this past year, probably like your kids. We have had to dedicate more time to our children's programs and to their physical and mental health than ever before. Because our kids have either lived in a car or have been in foster care, they have lacked therapy, doctor's appointments, and usually have never been to the dentist. These are things that we must address as soon as they arrive. Also, when our children arrive, they are starving. It breaks my heart when I see a child eating multiple plates of food right away. You know they haven't eaten. This is a few photos of our nursery, our youngest kids in Brentwood and in Livermore. And I want to point out one child, the little boy with the glasses. His glasses were actually broken when he was living in a car, and he's only 2 years old. And you can imagine how rough a 2-year-old would be on glasses living in a car. Well, they broke. So when he arrived to us, he didn't have glasses, and it was very noticeable that he could not see properly. But because generous donors partner with us, we had the funds to be able to pay for those glasses and get him that eye appointment so he could see. So that's what I'm so thankful for. That's how we use your generous donations. In the next slide, you'll see a few of our advancements for our older kids. Because our kids have kind of shut down when they're living in cars, they're just suffering emotionally. So what we did was we partnered with Reins in Motion right here in Livermore, and they have horse therapy. And so our kids, they groom the horses, they ride the horses. You would be surprised how much that lights up a child and how excited they are to go again. So we were able to afford that this year. And dog therapy is so important on both of our campuses. You know, many kids have lost their animals when they became homeless, and so they love this dog. But it's so wonderful to see a boy that's entered our program that couldn't read a book, and now he loves reading that full book to a dog that will listen. That's what our after-school program's working on. There's another photo here. It's our new partnership with the Betty Ford Clinic. And, you know, they're known for their adult recovery program. And we partnered with them because they have a specialized children's program to be able to walk a child and through recovery of their parent going through addiction. You know, kids are watching their parent lock themselves in the bathroom or choosing drugs, and they have a lot of questions and they carry a lot of baggage. And through the Betty Ford Clinic, we were able to have professionals walk them through and answer those kind of questions and counsel mom so she could face those questions from her children. So we are so thankful for them, and they did that for free, and they will continue to do that for free. And they have support groups online for our children. And then the last slide about our children is their distance learning. You know, our kids are just like yours. They struggled with distance learning, but they had each other and they had all of our staff support them and their moms. Our biggest stumbling block was that our internet wasn't powerful enough to support everyone on campus. So we had to wait for about 6 months before they could lay fiber optics in Livermore to support us as a large campus, because we're about 2.5 acres large, and lots of people are logging on all simultaneously. So, but the kids made it. They were successful and even did better than what they would have done in person at school. You know, we have children that go from straight Fs to straight As. And if any child has any delay, we're there to pick it up and get specialists ready for them to do one-on-one mentoring. And also, there's a photo there of our kids getting brand new clothes, because after the summer, they had worn out their clothes, they had outgrown them, and because of a generous donor, we were able to have them all go shopping for brand new clothes. You can imagine how much that meant to a child. It just lights them up. So we're thankful for that. We remember these are all things that you generously donated to us. Another area that I don't have a slide for tonight, but it's our alumni program. We expanded our alumni program to encourage them through this pandemic. We had multiple events to keep them connected, and many of them had lost their jobs for a while, and we were there to bless them with food boxes anytime they needed it. But also, you'd be surprised, in our alumni program, we now have 6 alumni that work at Shepherd's Gate, either part-time or full-time. They are the best mentors for these women, to speak their language and to encourage them and to really dig deep in their recovery. And so I'm so thankful for those alumni that become staff at Shepherd's Gate, because they are so good. You're going to meet one later tonight. Our 5th area is family reunification. Because of the court systems during the pandemic, they actually closed down and they went online for court dates. And this became very difficult for our women, because the court system was actually challenging them month after month to meet their requirements. But all the time, a child is in foster care until they can be reunified with their moms. And we want mom to be the healthiest she can be before she gets her kids back. But they waited patiently, and they did everything that the court required of them. And we were able to bless 18 children with their moms this year. Usually it's about 12. We're at 18 this year. That is just so amazing. It's such a miracle. And it's such a precious moment when you see a child come to our campus to live with their mom. Our next area is our Brentwood campus advancement. Who would have thought that during a pandemic that we could add to our campus building 1,000 feet? With the help of Homemade and Signature Homes and SDG Architects, we were able to add a learning and career center, an after-school program, 2 offices for case management. This is just unheard of that this was able to happen during a pandemic. We ribbon cutted that with City Council and Homemade and Signature Homes in June. And it has been such a lifesaver because all of those rooms immediately went into place. I want to introduce you to a volunteer that was a superhero to us, and that was Bob Dalton. And he works for Signature Homes, and he was with us on a daily basis to manage the 26 contractors that came on our campus during February to June to build this campus advancement. So thank you, Bob, for stepping in. Now, in our campus advancement, we're actually going to phase 3, which is putting in a playground coming up in a couple months. And then we'll be starting to fundraise for phase 2. It's kind of in reverse order, but there's a reason. Phase 2, which is alumni cottages. So the women can stay with us a little bit longer so they can save and practice everything that they learned in the program. We have this in Livermore, and we want to duplicate it in Brentwood. Our architectural plans have been into the city for several weeks, so I appreciate all your prayers because we just need that to get passed, and then we can start fundraising for that. And what's interesting is that God's bringing about brand new foundations to be able to afford these campus improvements in Brentwood. It doesn't take away from our normal fundraising or our normal donors. It's brand new people that are stepping in to be able to fund this. Moving on to our next set of heroes, you're going to hear about a lot of different heroes tonight. But this is a unique set of heroes. Back in 2019 and 2020, we were approached by an artistic filmmaker who was inspired to make a short film based on a true story of a little girl by the name of Nicole, who stayed at Shepherd's Gate with her mom. But today, Nicole doesn't allow those years of homelessness and her mom's addiction to define her. She is a successful executive at Robert Half here in the Valley. She's a mother and a loving wife, but she's also an advocate to help bring awareness to homelessness and recruit volunteers. She told her personal story one day at Robert Half, and Billy Higgins, who was an employee of hers, heard that story. And he said, I want to tell that story to the world. I don't want this to go untold because it's so important. It's a different way of looking at a hero of ours. The short film has now gone on to receive multiple awards at film festivals this last year during the pandemic. In your barbecue box, if you got one of those, there's a postcard about the movie, and there's a special code for the access to see the film. And we'll make that available after this presentation tonight. But right now, I want to introduce you to Nicole and the filmmaker Billy, because they have an important story to tell of why they made this film.
What brought my sister, my mom, and I to Shepherd's Gate was my mom really, she was trying to escape a relationship. She's always kind of battled relationships and dated the wrong people. In addition, my mom's always had an alcohol and drug program. I don't remember which home we were leaving or which apartment complex we were leaving, but I do remember getting in my dad's old work van and we ended up in Shepherd's Gate. It was me, I was around 9 years old, my sister, who's 2 years younger than me, so she would have been 7, and my mom was trying to get clean and sober. Whenever she's clean and sober, she's a much better mom, and obviously it's a lot better for my sister and I. The one thing I remember about arriving there is obviously we're scared, but my sister and I had been so used to moving around and kind of following my mom wherever she went, or living with different family members. And I remember getting there and immediately I received a kit. So I had, toothpaste, a toothbrush, there were different like underwear that were my size, and that it felt very welcoming, and I definitely felt safe. My mom, my sister, and I, we all shared a room, and the following day I went down from my memory, obviously it's been a long time, it felt like a basement, and clothes were really neatly organized and sorted, almost like a thrift store, a nice thrift store. And my sister and I were able to pick out clothes that would fit us. I can recall everybody having just different responsibilities at the shelter. So my mom had responsibilities. There was kind of people would take turns, or the other women would take turns doing the dishes, cooking dinner, and cleaning up. So it really felt like a community. And there was the expectation that you had to be sober. And from that perspective, I felt like it took the weight off of my shoulders, that I didn't have to worry about whether or not she was sober, or what she might do. She tends to be a really delightful person when she's sober, and just not a very good person when she's not. So I just appreciated the fact that everybody had a pitch in and it felt like a community. And then on top of that, to get clothes and underwear and toothbrush and toothpaste, it definitely made me and my little sister feel really, really welcomed, as welcome as you could, going through something that's, that challenging, such as leaving your place behind and all of your clothes.
I did know a little bit about Shepherd's Gate prior to hearing Nicole's story, but not very much. I did one volunteer event with our company at the Shepherd's Gate thrift store. And it was soon after that when I first heard Nicole's story and found out that was the reason why we did volunteer events at Shepherd's Gate. And that's what instantly made me think, wow, that is a movie. That is a story I want to tell. A story about a girl growing up from a very challenging childhood, living in a women's shelter, and then growing up to become a very charismatic executive at a Fortune 500 company. That is a story I want to tell, and that is a movie that needs to be made.
It's important for me to tell my story about being a little girl at Shepherd's Gate in general, because I've done really well in my life. I've worked really hard and I've ended up in a good place. I have a great career. I have a great family. I have a great team that I really enjoy leading. And it's important for people to understand that regardless of the cards that you're dealt, and there's no doubt they were crappy cards, that you can overcome those obstacles if there is just a little bit of support. And so I think it's important to tell that story, because we often look at someone who's successful or they appear just fine, and we don't think about how they got there. I can remember one time being in counseling and asking the counselor, do you know a lot of girls like me that have ended up okay? And she said that, it's not common, but it's possible. And I really appreciated the fact that she was so honest with me, and that it is possible to overcome, a tough past. It is possible, and you can really change your life if you have support and you're dedicated to making a difference. So for me, telling my story has always been about inspiring others, and being my authentic self. And just being proud of where I've come from and really where the journey has taken me. And if I can inspire one or two people who might be struggling to be their best, then it's worth the vulnerability. I mean, obviously, I work at a corporation where a lot of people have prestigious degrees and came from great backgrounds, but just because I don't have those things doesn't mean that, that I'm going to be held back necessarily. It's really up to each individual to kind of make a difference and choose their path.
I believe I was so passionate about telling the story because I actually had a pretty complicated childhood myself. I mean, it wasn't the same as Nicole's or some other, person who had been at Shepherd's Gate. I never lived at a shelter. I had a pretty good, family that was loving and supportive and a great situation growing up in. But I did have a mother, a biological mother, who had some severe mental health issues, and naturally that had an effect on my growing up. So I think that learning about Nicole's story and Shepherd's Gate and what they do was just something I really could relate to. And I think it's just great that there are places like Shepherd's Gate that can help mothers and their children who endure some pretty trying life challenges.
Yeah, I would say that while my mom was there, it was really fascinating just seeing her healthy for a while, seeing her sober, seeing her get along with others. Sometimes she has a bit of a challenge getting along with others. And I think a lot of that has to do with drinking and obviously doing drugs. And just watching her grow in a way I hadn't seen before, where she's pitching in and there's a lot of give and take where they're dividing chores. So there's that. There's the sobriety aspect, that that component of working hard pays off. I mean, obviously Shepherd's Gate is there to help, but one thing I really love about them is that you also have to give. It's 50-50. You have to be willing to grow as well. And so seeing that motivate her was good for me and my sister to see. As far as being kids there, it's tough to be displaced and to go from apartment, project to project and shelter to shelter, and being there and being so welcomed, and just the experience has stuck with me through all my years. When we're not in the middle of a pandemic, I try to bring my team back there at Robert Half, and many of them don't know why it's so precious to me, but just that experience, I think it's a really well ran social program in that you get what you need, but then you're also taught how to succeed, and being taught how to succeed is just such a gift that stuck with me.
Hi, my name is Alicia Hammond, and I am the director of the Livermore campus. I've been with the organization for 7 blessed years. This last year has been hard with all the restrictions, but I want to share with you tonight 4 volunteers that have been our heroes. First we have is Diane Johansson. Diane teaches a class on boundaries for our ladies. She has been doing this for many years and is a very valuable volunteer and resource for the Shepherd's Gate program. We survey all graduates of the program, and her class always rated high. In addition, many residents have shared how Diane has changed their lives. Healthy boundaries are an important life skill for women who have been a victim of domestic violence, addiction, and homelessness. Diane's impact will have a lifelong benefit. Before the pandemic hit, Diane and another dedicated volunteer set up Shepherd's Gate as an official AA meeting spot. As leaders, these 2 women have made a huge impact in the lives of our residents. They also partner our women with sponsors to continue their sobriety now and after graduation. God knew we needed this, and He definitely made a way. Diane also loves to gift our graduates with a manicure and a pedicure so they feel beautiful and loved on the day of their graduation. Thank you so much, Diane, for everything you do for this ministry. You are a hero, and we love you so much. Next, we have Pastor Jimmy. Pastor Jimmy teaches Celebrate Recovery for our ladies. Celebrate Recovery is a Christian-based STEP program that includes hurts like domestic violence or family dysfunction, habits like addiction, and hang-ups, which are the things that hold residents back from fully experiencing God's healing. Through Celebrate Recovery, Pastor Jimmy teaches the women the power of Christ in maintaining a sober and violence-free lifestyle. He takes the women through the CR steps and helps them to apply it to their lives. Not only does Pastor Jimmy teach Celebrate Recovery, but when a resident is ready to share her newfound faith in Christ, Pastor Jimmy comes to campus and facilitates baptisms. In addition to baptisms, he also facilitates communion for our residents. Thank you so much, Pastor Jimmy, for being a faithful hero of Shepherd's Gate. Next, I have Joanne and Donna. Joanne and Donna are our faithful intake heroes, working in the trenches, screening potential applicants. They spend many hours on the phone listening to traumatic stories and praying with the women who need help, all while instilling the love and hope of Jesus. These two ladies made a significant impact before the women even ever entered the program. They truly are the boots on the ground. Thank you so much, Joanne and Donna, for being our dedicated frontline worker heroes. And last but not least, I want to say that my staff have all been heroes this last year. They have helped in so many areas. When there was so much uncertainty, these women still showed up to serve the women and children of Shepherd's Gate. They give so effortlessly and truly have been called to this ministry to be the hands and feet of Jesus. Now, I would like to welcome Brittany McCarty. She is our residential coordinator supervisor and a graduate of the Shepherd's Gate program.
Thank you so much, Alicia. I appreciate you and the rest of our staff. As Alicia said, my name is Brittany McCarty, and my story begins a few years ago. I was hopeless out on the streets. I was about 14 years old and was sexually assaulted. From that time up until I was about 18, I struggled with shame and guilt and just finding out who I was inside. After that, I did become addicted to many drugs, and because of that, I was out on the street just waiting to die. My family attempted to help me numerous times, and I watched them struggle alongside of me throughout my whole addiction. I stayed in my addiction for about 10 years, and again, I was lost, hopeless, and just completely torn apart. Every time I attempted recovery, there was always something missing. From the day I entered Shepherd's Gate, I found what I was missing. Through all of the staff members and just through God's grace, I experienced the love of Jesus. And from that day forward, I was delivered from my addiction. While at Shepherd's Gate, I went in with no children, and I learned how to become a woman with integrity, and I learned a lot of parenting skills, which are definitely useful today. After I graduated, I did some ministry work in the church, and by the grace of God, I'm able to come back to Shepherd's Gate and give back as much as I can. Each and every day, I show up and I do my best to just share the love of Jesus and let the women know that they can be free and they can receive healing. So today, I am now married. I have 2 babies and a 15-year-old stepdaughter. I have a husband, and I have the career of my dreams, and it wouldn't be possible without Shepherd's Gate and the love of Jesus. So thank you.
Thank you, Brittany. We are so thankful to Brittany and her staff and all the other graduates that have now come back to our campus to be that example for the women. Because when they see Brittany, they say, if she can do it, I can do it. That's how it works. I want to tell you about some heroes on our Brentwood campus. Alicia Quay, our director of the Brentwood campus, couldn't be here tonight, but we're not going to miss a moment to thank these wonderful volunteers that have helped us in so many ways. 2 specific heroes just shine. First hero is John. He has faithfully served and given his time to Shepherd's Gate for about 15 years. Here he is. He actually does so much to help us. He is constantly repairing things on campus and making our campus safe. And this is his unique gift to us. Here he is with our children. So often he recruits our children to be able to fix things around the house. And our kids don't have a great male role model in their lives. So John is it, and he does such a fantastic job with that. Our next hero is Peggy, and she is Peggy Welk. She has faithfully served since 2018, and she has a heart of gold. Here are just some of the ways she has given to Shepherd's Gate. She has a very generous heart and loves to give to our women and children. She will often purchase the necessary program books and material that they need to do the classes, and she makes sure each resident has a warm coat during the winter months. And during the high point of COVID, when our women weren't going grocery shopping, she brought meals to our campus and activities for them to do while they waited. She also drives our women to appointments like court appointments, doctor and dentist appointments, and many other trips. Even when she broke her left leg, that didn't stop her from volunteering. She says that she is the one who's blessed when she takes the women on these trips because they get to talk and pray together. Now I'd like to introduce you to another graduate of ours from the Brentwood campus, Julie. She came into our program broken without her baby girl. She had lost her to CPS. She is a testimony of what God can do in one's life when they fully follow, trust, and depend on Him. This is Julie.
My name's Julie, and I grew up in Oakland, California. So I grew up in a big family. I have 4 sisters and 1 brother. My parents have been married for 50 years, praise God. When I was 16, I met a boy. And we ended up moving out of state together. I got in trouble with him. The type of person that he was back then wasn't very nice, very responsible. My family convinced me to just move on. When we got in trouble, he ended up going to prison, and I left him without a word. I met another person, another man, who I feel like I jumped into a relationship with too suddenly, and I know I was like super depressed because I didn't see my life going anywhere. I just thought, this is it. It was another abusive relationship. I left him 10 years after, 3 kids later. I remember the night that I left, we had a argument, and my daughter, I asked her to take her cousin and go into the bedroom, and as I was tucking them into bed, she told me, "Mom, you said the last time was the last time." And instead of tucking her into bed, I grabbed her and my boys, and we left that night. I took my kids and I came back home to the Bay Area, and we were doing pretty good. I found a job, a really amazing work family. I was working on my relationships with my family because I had been distant from them for those 10 years that I was gone. And I reunited with my my first boyfriend. He had a very strong addiction that I didn't know how to handle. I was very codependent with him ever since we were like 16. The addiction got stronger. I started losing focus on what was more important. So I lost my job, I lost my car, and I lost my home. I sent my kids to live with their father, and I ended up living on the streets. I lived at a homeless encampment for about 6 months. I was on the bus one day headed to a doctor's appointment, and I noticed this place called Homeless Prenatal in San Francisco, and I thought it was such a coincidence that that I saw it. I got off the bus 3 blocks earlier, took the number down because they were closed, and I ended up calling them, and they helped me to get a motel room during the course of my pregnancy. We had a lot of incidents where I'd end up in the hospital, and everything was being documented. The nurses, the staff would notice things that were going on. His behavior wasn't normal. The drugs that he was on just made him imagine things, and I started to believe them. On March 12th, when she was born, 7 hours after I had her, CPS came in and asked me a few questions. They asked about the history that I had with him, and they felt that I couldn't protect her because I was in denial of what was going on. So they took her. I was referred to a woman from a program. She mentioned Shepherd's Gate to me, and she told me that it was an amazing place and that it would change my life. From that moment on, I called every day, sometimes twice a day, and it didn't take very long before I got a call back, and I was accepted into the program. Shepherd's Gate is the first program that I've ever been in. I never imagined a program being this amazing. So before coming to Shepherd's Gate, I was living in my car. I remember waking up every morning wondering, like, where am I going to shower today? You know, like, where am I going to do the normal things that people do? So needless to say, when I came here, even though I was scared of something new, of, you know, the women that lived here, what it was going to be like being in community with different personalities, different women from different backgrounds, different traumas. Surprisingly, walking through the doors, I felt so peaceful, like I was home. Since being here at Shepherd's Gate, I've accomplished so many things. Well, I've learned a lot about myself, getting to know who I am. My relationship with God has grown so much stronger. I found my self-worth. Some of the classes that I've really enjoyed was art therapy. Kylo is amazing because it helps you to deal with every relationship in your life. Codependency was one of the classes that I really enjoyed because it it taught me a lot about the things that I was doing wrong, and the way I was seeing everything, the way I was handling my relationships. Boundaries was also very helpful. When I first came in during intake, the director explained to me the rules and everything that goes with the program. And one thing she said to me was not to give up and to wait for my miracle. 2 weeks ago, I got my daughter back after a long struggle with the courts. I got her back into my full-time care. I know that God has so much more for me. I recently graduated from the Shepherd's Gate program and am currently attending an administrative course. I do plan to continue my education in that field and would love to pursue a career in office management. I would love to tell the supporters of Shepherd's Gate how grateful I am for what they do for us, the difference that their help makes in our lives is incredible. 9 months ago, I thought there was no way out for me. And because of their support, we have hope for a future.
Wasn't that video great? I want to introduce you to Julie. She's in the studio tonight and with baby Grace. Gracie, come on in. Gracie, come here, baby. Hi. Oh, you're such a big girl now. It's getting past Gracie's bedtime. Hi, do you want a little snack? No? Well, this is a very precious, special little girl because she waited so long for a year to be reunited with Mom permanently. And they worked so hard. You know, Julie, you just worked with the court. You prayed for this day. You prayed that Gracie would return to you. But you had to do a lot of hard work to make that reunification happen. And I remember you on court cases, and you would say, please pray for me. The court is zooming in today. And also I noticed how you every day would have multiple Zoom calls with Gracie, and you would even sing to her while she was sleeping. And I could hear you singing, "You Are My Sunshine." Do you love that song? You are my sunshine, and you are. Julie, can you share with everyone tonight what did this program mean to you, and thanking these donors for helping make this all possible?
Yes, thank you, Carol. It definitely was, it wasn't easy. It was very, very difficult without my baby and my other 3 kids. But I would just like to say thank you to the donors for your generosity. Shepherd's Gate has been such a blessing for my children and I. And I'm very grateful for all that they do. I know that there's many programs out there, and many can get through a program and move on. But the life skills and the parenting skills, the love and support that Shepherd's Gate staff offers, it truly, truly makes a difference. And that wouldn't be possible without you. So thank you.
You heard it right from her of why you're so important to this ministry. I'm going to let you take Gracie.
Did you
Oh, she's getting heavy.
Thank you. Can you say thank you?
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. This is what your generous donations go to at Shepherd's Gate. It helps women transform their lives and helps children just like Gracie. You save lives. You give them a second chance. God uses you. We are excited tonight to announce that we have been provided with a $51,000 matching fund to double your donation tonight. This matching fund is a wonderful gift from Subaru's yearly campaign called Share the Love, and a few other special donors that contributed. So for example, your gift of $1,000 will be matched to turn it into $2,000 to care for these women and children. You can donate online right now on our website, shepherdsgate.org, or you can send a gift to our office. Just remember to write in the memo field barbecue event so we match your donation. I'm hoping that we can match every dollar of that $51,000 match. It would be such a huge blessing to us. Every gift counts, small or large, whatever God places on your heart. Your gifts help provide food and clothing and safety, education, recovery classes, outside therapy. The list goes on and on. Many of these women, as you know, come to us with just the clothes on their back and don't have benefits until we help them register for them. So in the meantime, we step in. So the need is so great, but the miracles are every day. 18 children wouldn't have their mothers this year if it wasn't for your generosity to reunite them. It's really what the miracle is about. But I want you to know that we are so careful with our expenses to make them last all year round so we can help as many women and children as possible. We are financially audited by an independent audit firm. We have faithful board members. We have a finance and audit committee, and we achieved a 4-star rating with Charity Navigators, and we're constantly yearly approved by the ECFA. If you ever have questions, please contact me. Or if you just need prayer, please contact me. It's cpatterson@shepherdsgate.org. It's on all your emails and your communication with us, so you know how to get a hold of me if you have questions and want to sit down about your donation. Right now, I want to bring Marcy, our development officer, in. She has done an amazing job to coordinate us.
Thank you.
She has worked so hard at the items for the raffle and our barbecue kits and all our sponsors. You've done an amazing job, and you have been so blessed by so many people out there. So thank you, Marcy. So let's don't waste another minute. Let's talk about those winners to the raffle.
Yes. I am so excited to announce the lucky winners of the golden ticket and silver ticket raffle prizes. But first, I just want to thank all of the businesses that donated items, and a very special shout out to our last minute entries, Oakland Zoo and Craig Shelley Beverly Hills. So let's get down to brass tacks and give some prizes away. The first prize is the golden ticket winner. Drum roll. Woo!
Woo!
And the winner for a 5-night stay at the Wyndham Club Resort, any participating resort based on availability and hotel restrictions, are Joe Macaluso. She's the big winner for tonight. Congratulations, Joe. Now let's go ahead and announce the silver ticket winners. First prize, Palm Canal silver jewelry set, goes to Kathy Barlow. Palm Canal gold jewelry set goes to Victoria Baker. The winner of the Scent Chips Pier 39, that's a new store at Pier 39, Create a Scent Party for 10, and Gift Basket, April Poulter. A private tasting for 8 at the Dante Winery goes to Kim Marie Thompson. A brush and board Livermore paint session for 2. The winner is Maggie Cathy. Congratulations, Maggie. A Flawless Skin Studio custom 90-minute facial goes to Roshana Babu. A Narian Wellness 1-hour massage goes to Tammy De Silva. A 3-night stay, a round of golf, I'm jumping ahead. A round of golf for 2 at the Las Positas Golf Course goes to Anthony Rotiche. Congratulations. Now, a 3-night stay at the Club Donatello in San Francisco. That is winner Donna Greer. A set of earrings from the King's Jewelers in Walnut Creek. The lucky winner is Janelle Johnson. Admission and skate rental for 4 at Dublin Ice goes to John Ornella. A Rocky Mountain chocolate tote with 4 caramel apples, super delish, goes to Joe Gonzalez. A spa manicure from Silk Nail Design goes to lucky winner Barbara Morrissey. The Craig Shelley Beverly Hills Women's Pink Pearl Ceramic Watch.
Beautiful watch.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. The lucky winner is Diane Cordston. And the last prize, an Oakland Zoo Family Pass for 4, is awarded to Marie Thompson. So I want to congratulate all the winners. Woo! And all of you will be contacted personally to make arrangements to claim your prize. So thank you so much for attending, and I hope you enjoy your winnings. Mwah.
Thank you, Marcy.
You're very welcome.
Thank you to everyone that purchased raffle tickets. Every little bit counts. I'm hoping that the most challenging times of this pandemic are behind all of us. I leave you tonight with this encouraging verse that we often refer to during these times. 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18. Be joyful, pray continually, and give thanks in all circumstances. That verse speaks to us every day, looking for the joy when we're in the midst of trauma situations. Continually praying for you, our supporters, our volunteers, the women and children, and for the safety of our staff. We are so grateful how God continuously provides for this ministry. It truly is amazing what he does for us, and I know he's the one who carried us through this last year. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and giving what you can to support this life-saving ministry. Also, thank you to Amos Productions here in Livermore. That is where we're actually filming from live right now. And they are the ones with the technical expertise to be able to produce this show for us, and we're so grateful for them. So I'm going to ask, is Gracie here? You ready to say goodnight, Gracie? Gracie, come say goodbye to everybody. Come on, Gracie. One last little girl. Good night, everybody. Blessings, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Say bye, Gracie. She's not talking now. Good night, everyone.